Hey, welcome to my channel. What are you doing down here? I can't have you down here if I'm gonna kick you in your ear hole with a whole bunch of ranting. Right, that's a little bit better. Welcome to my channel. Are you in the mood for some angry ranting, sarcastic observations, and cocky opinions? Then you came to the right place today because I am fed up with being disabled. I'm sick of it. I'm over it. Not having a good time. I quit. But wait, before we get into that, I need to explain to the newbies here that I'm an American living in Germany. A few years ago, I found out I had a brain tumor in my head. It effed me up, blah, blah, blah. And today, I'm reaching a breaking point, and I thought I would do a rant about reaching my breaking point for your entertainment and possible education. If you are curious and want to know more about the stupid tumor I had and all of the things I've been through involving it, I have 2 playlists here on my channel dedicated to it. This particular video will go in the playlist labeled Stupid Tumor Stories. Welcome, and please consider subscribing. So let's just get right into it. You know, looking back at my whole little story involving this stupid tumor that was in my head, looking back, I can see that I was already getting fed up and sick of people in this so-called healthcare industry right around the time that I started feeling sick and was diagnosed with what turned out to be a stupid rare tumor. First off, the amount of paperwork and actual physical running around one has to do when one feels like shite is bullshit. But in regards to what led me feeling so bitter today and provoked this rant, in regards to my becoming disabled journey, we gotta go through a timeline. You see, the first doctor that I went to, because I was feeling dizzy and walking like a drunk lady, she theorized after some tests using machines that looked like they were invented in the 70s or the 80s, she theorized that I had crystals in my head and offered me the ability to go to her office once a week to do some sort of movements that would loosen these crystals, and P.S. I could pay her 150 euros for those visits. Luckily, I come from America and can spot a capitalist pig from a mile away, and I ran like hell from her office and sought out another ear, nose, and throat doctor for my balance issues, which from this point forth in the video I will call an HNO, because that's what they're called in Germany, and HNO. And my brain thinks in Germish now. The next HNO that I went to seemed to be on his game, and it would turn out it would be both good luck and bad luck that this particular doctor actually also had the same rare tumor that I had at one point in his life. And so he spotted all the signs, sent me for an MRI, found it, sent me then to go to a specialist to get it removed. It sounds all good, bada bing, bada boom, right? Wrong. Finding this guy who had the same tumor as me ended up being bad luck after tumor removal. Because, you see, I didn't heal post-operation in the exact same way he did. I wasn't healing fast enough for him, not as fast as he did. And he seemed only interested in getting me back to work. We need to see how quick we can get you back to work, Frau Armstrong. While I was a tad more interested in not feeling like I was on a boat and not falling over in his office while he stared into a computer. So I move on, and the next damn HNO that I found was a lady. And this lady got angry at me because in my confusion and with my dizzy issues and my deaf in the one ear and a bunch of other crap, can't see right out of this eye, I wandered the wrong way in her waiting room or office or whatever, and I bumped into some shells. She got mad at me. The only time this lady looked me in the eyes was when she was talking down to me at this appointment. So I moved on before I hit a bitch. The next HNO that I moved on to, well, he seemed nice enough at first, and interestingly enough, he wasn't just an ear, nose, and throat. He also claimed to, do some sort of psychiatry. I find this so strange because at my last appointment with this dude, he made a really weird statement. He had wanted to know why let's just say I didn't go out much, I wasn't very social, but also didn't date. He claimed to not understand my self-esteem issues at the moment, and then remarked, implying that I shouldn't have them because I'm thin. What the fuck? Anyway, back to my issues. The guy showed some interest in helping me understand why I felt shitty since I had a stupid tumor removed from my head. Granted, he wasn't interested in talking to me or doing anything about any kind of therapy or anything about the tinnitus, this crazy ringing in my head, but nonetheless, he did have some vertigo medications for me to try out. And then he has a great idea to send me to a place called the Aachen University Clinic, because there's a guy there that is so known about all of his knowledge and work with vertigo patients that he can be found on German morning breakfast programs. Boy, I'll tell you what, he must be really busy with those German morning breakfast programs, and quite honestly, in my humble opinion, he should just stick with doing them. Because it's been more than 2 years now since those appointments, and I still have not received my doctor's report or my CT. And yeah, multiple phone calls and complaints have been made. I got nothing from several days of tests and, oh my God, all kinds of shit that they did to me. Several days they tested on me. I got nothing for it, but I bet you they got paid by my insurance company. What an absolute and total shit show that place was while I was there, and the aftermath. I'm there for a bunch of days. They do a bunch of tests with me. They tell me they want to do a final one on a stool that triggers the dizziness, and I'm hooked up to electrodes and they can see everything. But it's broken. I should go home and get an eye exam while I'm home, bring that back with me. And so I did. Months later, that stool got repaired and I went back to do the tests on the vertigo stool, and I took with me my eye exam, and I didn't see not one of the damn doctors that I had seen on the first 3 appointments. The ones that told me we're going to make a CT that can show us what is really broken in there. Ones that said they wanted to look at really what specifically is destroyed in there. And hey, maybe, they made no promises, but maybe there's a chance that I could get a cochlear implant and hear again in that ear. Nope, none of that happened. Instead, I found some new doctor lady in front of me that came with my stack of paperwork, looked at me, and informed me that I should start doing physical therapy, as if I hadn't been doing that for the past several years. And I sat there shocked, confused, overwhelmed, tried to remember everything from the first meeting with the first doctors that I met with, talking about my issues and wanting to understand them so I can understand my disabilities and if they're permanent. And I spit out, well, what about a cochlear implant? Can I get a cochlear implant? She looked at me for a second. It looked like she was trying to hide it, trying to keep her cool, but she looked like she didn't really know the answer to that, but immediately referred to the paperwork, shuffled back through the paperwork, and then looked me in the eyes and said, oh, well, no, that nerve is too damaged, so that's not going to work. And so, you know me, I persisted like a little bit, and I was like, well, wait, it's not possible at all. And then she mentions some bone being broken in there. Do I know what nerve is too damaged? Do I know which bone is broken? Nope. That is apparently top secret data that Aachen University Clinic has decided to keep. But you know what? Quite honestly, none of this shit should surprise me, because from the fucking get-go, from the beginning, nobody gave a shit. After all, after my operation, nobody was really interested in informing me, for example, of the new disability of being deaf in the one ear. I'll never forget waking up from that long operation, and the neurosurgeon was there. He approached me. He spoke perfect English, and he told me that once they got inside my head, it turns out that tumor was a whole lot bigger than they thought. He estimated it had been in there for like 10 years. But good news, he said. He was pretty damn sure that he preserved my hearing in that ear. And I just thought that was cool, because damn, they told me, good chance I could lose my hearing in this ear. And God, I love music. How cool is that this surgeon was able to preserve that? And then clearly I fell into a heavy narcotic-influenced sleep again for a few days. And I had about 3 days of just, oh God, world-spinning, horrible migraines, even some actual vomiting. I really do believe it was about 3 days after the operation. I'm laying in my hospital room and I'm attempting to watch the TV. And you know, in hospitals, you got those little like remotes where you can turn it on and off in volume, but it also has a speaker so you don't bug the person you're sharing your room with. And it was at that point, 3 days or so after this operation, that I put it up and I went, oh, holy crap, oh, holy crap, oh, holy crap. I discovered, nope, turns out you didn't preserve that nerve. That ain't working. And the funny thing was, I didn't see that dude for a few days, but other random doctors would swing by and check on me. Clearly, I wasn't just left to fend for myself, but this one doctor walked in with a bunch of students and was talking about me like I was an object, right after I had just discovered, holy crap, I'm deaf in this ear. So since this is the doctor in front of me, I verbalized to him, hey, I think I'm deaf in this ear post-operation. He looks at me totally emotionless and goes, mm-hmm. And so I'm like, my doctor had said that he thought he preserved the nerve in that ear. Do you think it'll come back? Without skipping a beat, ever so unemotional and absolutely not sympathetic, he says, no, I'm very skeptical of that. And then he continued to talk about me like I was an object to the students and moved the hell on out of the room. No one informed me a damn thing about this new disability I had just picked up. And funny enough, it would take weeks until I realized, for example, that I can't tell where sound is coming from. I cannot tell the direction of sound. And that can be scary as shit. Granted, it can be funny, okay? But mostly, it just causes a lot of panic attacks, and it would have been nice to have been informed what was coming. I have wasted years trying to get answers from doctors as to why my body is doing what it's doing since I had a stupid tumor removed from my head. I am getting sick of hearing the lazy-ass, worthless cop-out of a response that I have received repeatedly for years. That is, Frau Armstrong, you had a big tumor. You listen here, and you listen good, because now this is more than 5 years of this bullshit, and I'm fed up, and I'm not taking it anymore. If I got hit by a car, and I went to seek help to try to understand why, after getting hit by a car, my legs didn't work, the doctors would not repeatedly say to me, Ms. Armstrong, your legs don't work because you got hit by a car. They would investigate, they would do x-rays, take pictures, and try to figure out what exactly is broken. And then they would inform me of what is broken and how it would affect, for example, my mobility and if it is healable. It's bad enough that I feel like shite most of the time. And that when I do find the energy to seek help over and over and over again, it lets me down. I didn't even know when to start accepting that I am a severely disabled person, that this is my life now. You know why? Why? Because what did I hear all those years from lazy doctors? You had a big tumor. Let's just wait and see. And when I push for answers because I feel like shite, I am blocked by some arrogant douche canoe that wanted the title doctor and a brand new Porsche and not the responsibilities of the job that comes with it. Right, so now at some point I just have to accept that some of these issues I have post-operation are just not going away. I need to accept my disabilities. I have found mostly it's impossible for me to ignore them, and when I try to, I end up in pain. But here's the funny thing about me having to accept my disabilities. That's not really so easy to do in a society that as a whole is not set up to accept me with my disabilities. And so I've discovered what ableism is. I didn't know a damn thing about ableism before I became disabled. I admit that. I don't think I knew a damn thing, and I would like to really apologize to every single disabled person out there for my ignorance. I don't know, I guess I was all preoccupied with educating myself and trying to fight against things like racism and capitalism, and the other ism, ableism, was over here, just decided to smack me in the face and was like, what about me? So I'm learning all about this ism. From people looking at me and making assumptions, or like the very first time that I started stumbling and the teenagers were behind me giggling because I was tripping over my own feet. But also attempting to work with vertigo issues and a customer actually verbalizing out loud for all to hear that I look like I'm drunk. And the giggles, they turn into insecurities, and they turn into me not wanting to go out because I'm pretty sure that half of this town thinks that I'm just some weird drunk lady staggering around and bumping into things sometimes. Sometimes I get stupid self-conscious. But then I stop myself and I remember the reality is no one cares. And most are preoccupied with their own issues. But no one cares that the steps are too steep or too much or too ridiculous. No one cares that I've clearly expressed I have difficulty talking on the phone. They need a telephone number for their paperwork and they are going to use it. And nobody cares that I'm on such a tiny budget that it might actually be hard enough to not fall behind and keep, for example, a phone service going. Nope, sometimes it feels like nobody cares that this forced budget that I have to live on is just not enough. As an American living in Germany, the irony is killing me that once again, I am in a land that once again seems a little more preoccupied with war than taking care of their homeless and poor. I digress. That stupid tumor only hits 1 in 100,000 people each year. And I'll tell you what, often I have really felt like that one in a crowd of 100,000 people. Because I feel alone when I stand there and wonder, why is there no elevator at this location? How is email contact not possible in this day and age, Germany? And yet, I feel alone when I have to say I'm scared to ride the bus because the bus drivers are absolute psychos that don't give a damn that I'm dealing with balance issues, and that's why I fall on my ass when they pull away like the psychos that they are before I can grab a seat or get myself secure. And quite honestly, it doesn't seem like anybody cares enough to wear a mask. For example, for people who, if they get hit with this virus, it's going to make their shitty lives a whole lot shittier. And so I sit next to people hoping that I don't end up fucking sick. So there I am going out in public, risking getting infected with something that'll make me bedbound or walk into more things because of my issues. There I am climbing steps that feel like I'm climbing mountains, leave me nauseous and sweating and not able to see straight. There I am taking and making and struggling through phone calls with people while an obscene non-stop loud ringing is going on in my ear. And yeah, I feel alone on the bus with their psycho bus drivers when I fall on my ass. Nobody cares because 99,000 people are fine with all this. I'm the one in the 100,000. This madness, this is all normal. I'm the one that's not normal, so I shut up because I'm the odd one out. I'm the one complaining. I'm the unhappy one. The masses are not affected. I'll tell you something. It's fucking exhausting, feeling like you're fighting some battles completely alone. You know, it's just not right. And I think it's important for people to just try to take a moment and understand what some people struggle with on a daily basis that you take for granted. What's normal for you is not normal for everybody else. Sometimes I feel even punished for having an invisible disability or a disability that's not quite so immediately visible. Like if I had a wheelchair, for example, I would get less questions about my abilities and I wouldn't be openly asked so often to reveal what should be private medical information. You know, it's a little bit like how it's been with my facial paralysis. I had a partial facial paralysis here. Now, I have regained use in some of my face. And it's interesting that I usually hear about improvements in the side of my face from other people. They see it first. And then I have to look in a mirror and I go, oh yeah. But the funny thing is, what they don't see is that this all here still has in places where it just feels heavy, hard, kind of like it's hanging. And that makes me feel ugly. You can't see that. You know, the same thing goes for my vertigo. On one of my good days, for example, you and me, we may meet out on the street and we may have a whole conversation and you may not realize that inside I feel like I'm on a boat. And even at some points in our conversation, I'm hiding really well. I feel like I want to vomit. This results in people saying things to me like, well, you look good enough to do this physical activity. Or people just flat out saying, you look good enough to go back to work. Why don't you just go back to work? Or when I reveal my hearing issues, people say, yeah, well, no, sorry, you're going to have to call us. Not text or email in 2022, Germany. Or when I ask about using an elevator that is there, but I'm told for some stupid reason I can't use it and I should just use the steps. And there we have it again, where because I have no crutches, braces, or wheelchair, I am forced to spew out private medical information in order to get assistance that in this day and age should just be readily available to everyone. If your building is for public use and the public is welcome in there, then make it welcome to all public. Access is a right. And in this day and age, it's a possibility as to how you can do that for people with different needs. Come on. How about when somebody says, I need help, you just fucking help them? And how about if somebody says that they're disabled, you don't ask them to reveal anything that they don't volunteer to you? Like, seriously though, like, how many times have I found myself in a position where I have no choice, I need to go and ask for help to survive? Especially because I got this stupid tumor and I'm unable to work. And these appointments turn into full-on interrogations and background checks. Like, I gotta tell you, after living so many years in Germany as I have, I've been getting used to having to financially expose myself and provide a shit ton of paperwork to feed the German paperwork fetish. But ridiculous is right now, I am literally in the process of going through all of my papers and trying to dig up my parents' death certificates to provide them to a German office here that is going to help me. With the amount of times I have had to feel like I go to these offices to just bare naked, flat out expose myself, part of me really wonders, where does this come from? Where does this come? What are you trying to protect against? Is this really a thing that rich people are trying to scam? Dead seriously, Germany, how often is it that really rich people are going into your government offices and trying to scam you? What do you think, that my dad is Elon Musk and what? I hate him so much that I ran to Europe to work menial, underpaid jobs? And then for the hell of it, I did a few stints as a roadie, just end up with a stupid tumor in my head, and now instead of running to my capitalist pig father, I'm just gonna take advantage and scam the German taxpayers. Is that it? Is that the reason for the ridiculous rules and the total invasion of privacy for people in need? Does this happen? It's highly unlikely. Not just on the fact that Elon Musk would have had to have been around 4 years old when I was born. And while I do consider that he may have enough money to be an evil time traveler, my father was working class and not at all like that asshat. I'm just saying, it seriously makes me wonder, realistically, how long is it? How far away are we from that point when one needs assistance and they literally are going to have to walk into these offices and, I don't know, somehow let them look all deep up inside our body? I'll tell you, since becoming disabled, they've been damn close. Listen, I know, maybe it's me. I find asking for help to be really difficult. I find it almost as difficult as I've found accepting my disabilities is. So I keep having moments where I'm asking, am I the problem or is society the problem? Am I overthinking this or is this normal? And so since I'm new to this shit, I seek answers online. I join groups and pages and read things from other people that are disabled. And bad news, society, you are the problem. You see, because this entire system is set up for physically and mentally fit people. You show any signs of not being up to par, you will be left behind. From being literally left behind because those steps are just too much and that train left without you, or you will be financially left behind in the way of you are automatically seen as not worthy because due to being disabled, you can't keep up with what is considered to be a normal yet exploitive work schedule for crap pay. And so then, what happens? Most disabled people, I'll dare say a whole lot, if not the majority, end up living on assistance. And that assistance is in no way enough. You show me somebody that thinks it is enough, the public assistance available to people in a disabled situation, and I will show you somebody who is probably both a criminal, but also severely out in touch with the common man. You know, like these politicians making all of these rules. I tend to go back and forth between maybe they're just so freaking out of touch they're unaware of the costs nowadays, but mostly I don't think they care. Because, oh goddamn, the costs, I never needed anything fancy in my life. I'm a very simple girl. I grew up not having a lot of money. I don't need anything fancy. And most importantly, I am thankful for everything I have. come on, I find myself then in a situation where my forced income basically results in half of that immediately being gone to keep a roof over my head. And the way the costs are going, I'm lucky if the other half of that is going to cover, for example, heating, water, and food. I don't know how all of these other people expect me to be doing things that are supposed to help me heal, like eating healthy, and I'm going to get some new hearing aid batteries, and I'll just pay for another freaking stupid bus trip to a doctor that doesn't care, so that I can get a prescription for some medications from that doctor that I can then, again, put out some cash for. Cash I don't have. So yeah, I'm just having a blast over here. Loving the fact that becoming disabled actually gave me more costs while at the exact same time making me less valuable for people that could give me a paycheck. Fun little paradox that karma threw at me. Touche, karma. And then I'm told I got rights and there's laws made to protect people like me. Yet over and over and over again, I see an absolute daily disregard for them, and assistance to fight for those rights is not so easy to reach. From stupid, simple things, like just wanting something that should be a basic right, like access. But in order to get that access to that building, I have to expose myself and declare all of my private medical issues. But also doctors and an entire system that feels like it's not only willing to let me fall behind, but is sort of just trying to make me comfortable because it feels like it kind of wants me to stay there. Like, I really feel often this system wants me to just accept, have no dreams, and do not want better, while asking me to fully expose myself in order to get some crumbs to survive. I'm just saying I don't appreciate being guided towards staying at the crumb earning level. I would like some more guidance to be at a normal financial earning level, but I guess for that to happen, society would have to change. I'm the dumbass that put myself in a 1 in 100,000 situation. It just really sucks to have ideas, be passionate, and know I can do things, but feel like society doesn't think I can do things. I'm saying this whole system makes me feel worth less than the majority of you. And I'm saying this is bullshit. The whole thing is bullshit. Here's a fun little side story. Recently, like I said, I started this little mini job. And I expressed to the person in charge that I wanted to inform her of my disabilities because it was important for me that they knew, because I didn't want them thinking that I was, for example, drunk when I was there. She appreciated me sharing this information with her and then proceeded to inform me that I should have no fear because, her words, the handicaps here, well, they're just fine here. The handicaps are happy and openly talk about their issues here. You'll have no problem, Frau Armstrong. The handicaps are good. Who the fuck told her that that's what you call a group of disabled people? Although I will admit it is a good name for a punk band. Less than an hour later, after this private conversation, this lady announced to the whole room we were in that if they wanted to speak with Frau Armstrong, they're going to have to do it loud and be on the right side because Frau Armstrong is deaf in one ear. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, what the fuck? I am clearly capable of informing people of my disabilities. Bitch, I just did that. So yeah, that happened, and I'm sure it was good intentioned. Because that's another thing since I became disabled. I see so many good intentioned things being played out so badly. I'm just sick of it all. And it's like some days I feel like I want out. I can't do this. I can't do this being disabled. I didn't get a rule book when I joined the handicaps, as that lady the other day so in such a classy manner classified a group of us disabled people. If only it was this simple. If only I could just quit. I'm guessing it's not. I'm guessing I'm in this fight for the long run. And quite honestly, it feels like it has been a long fight. And I really appreciate you allowing me to vent and let it all out here today. And so before I get out of here, I can't just leave you with all this bad and all this angry Armstrong and all my complaining. I gotta give you some good. It's only fair. Recently, I found another H&O, and she seems incredibly promising. She seems incredibly interested in trying to get to the root of why I feel the way I do. She even mentioned she wants to look at if one specific nerve had been cut in my operation, for example. She also put me on proper medication that I'm taking now 3 times a day. Turns out those doctors that didn't give a shit, that were just telling me to take travel pills, yeah, wrong. But I am really excited about this new ear, nose, and throat doctor, and I'm really hopeful that she can help me get some answers so that I can better understand my disabilities, but also that I can better explain them to other people. That sucks how often I feel like a dumbass, and I find myself almost using the same stupid cop-out the doctors did. I just had a big tumor. It'd be nice to just really understand what exactly is damaged. Why do I feel shitty? So hopefully I'll have some updates on that, and when I have them, I'll share them with you. But I guess, like, to sum it up, I really also want to say thank you for being here, and thank you for listening. Thank you for showing interest in my situation. And I'm just saying, I wish we all would do this just a little bit more. Take the time to learn what it's like for people that live in a completely different situation than you live in. Just take a moment to try to understand what's going on in their world. Because I'm appalled at what I have learned about what it means to be disabled in an ableist society. And it makes me ashamed that I was not myself better informed until I got hit with disabilities. Some days I feel really too weak to do anything, much less stand up and fight for myself. So today, when I had a little bit of energy, I decided to do just that. Speak up for both myself, but maybe for other people that are going through the same kind of garbage, and maybe they're not strong enough to speak up for themselves. Because I know I'm really thankful when people take the time to listen and support me when I'm having my bad days. And so I guess I really can't just like opt out of being disabled. I can't just quit. Doesn't work. So instead, I'll stay and fight and try to make ableist people's lives uncomfortable. But also, since I'm having such a hard time navigating this system, I'm looking at other ways that maybe I can take care of myself, ways I can maybe support myself financially, projects I want to start or get involved in. And when I feel fit enough, I have been crunching numbers, doing research, making contacts. And I really do hope that in the near future, I have some positive information for you involving major good life changes for me. Generally, I share all of that information, little things throughout the month that go on before I make a full video. I share those things over in the members section. And if you're interested in seeing members only videos, you can click the join button and support this channel. But always, once I have some real solid news and I'm ready to make a video and go public, of course I'll be back here ready to share it with you, my awesome subscribers. But that really was a long rant, and I appreciate y'all watching to the end. Felt good for me to get that all out. Thanks again for being here, for tolerating my angry ranting. I really do hope to be coming at you again soon with something else, but until that happens, I really do hope that you're over there taking care of yourself. Psst. Fun fact, if you take care of yourself, you're in better shape to be able to help and take care of other people. Another fun fact, you could watch another video right now if you wanted to.